Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Today I'm very excited to bring to you a video on how to eat healthy on a budget. This is something that I have done for a very long time because I like to do other things with my money and I want to make sure to eat healthy but also be able to have budgets for other things in my life. I have 10 tips for you today and let's just go ahead and get started. Tip number one is to eat at home. In the life that we all live, we have a lot of things to do, and sometimes it's more convenient to go out and get something quickly to eat. But if you spend $10 to $15 on yourself for one meal, that adds up very quickly when you think about doing that a couple times a week or even a couple times a month. But then when you multiply that times the months in a year, that can add up to a huge sum of money. So one of the best ways to make sure to not spend a lot of money is to eat at home and cook at home. My recommendation would be to learn a couple of recipes that you like as your go-to recipes and then make sure that they are nutrient-dense recipes, and that way you're eating healthy and you're also eating at home, so you're not spending a lot of money eating out at restaurants. Number two is to buy generic brands. When we go to the grocery store, a lot of times we'll go straight for the name brand, the name that we know, but if you look at the generic ingredients, it usually is the exact same ingredient, so you'd be surprised how much you can save if you just shop for the generic brands. Number three, if you're going to go out to a restaurant and you are having a nice healthy dinner or lunch or whatever it may be, opt for water instead of getting a soft drink or a lemonade or a tea. Instead of something that's going to cost maybe like $3, something like that, opt for water, which is usually free, and that way you're going to save yourself a couple of bucks and you're also going to be healthier because who does not need to be more hydrated? Tip number four is to replace your protein from an animal protein to a different type of protein. So you can get as much protein as your body needs from non-animal products, and animal products like animal meat, like chicken, steak, fish, those tend to be more expensive than something like legumes or tofu, those type of options. It depends on the person, but how you cook those foods makes a really big difference. You can have very, very delicious legume-based meals where the legume is the actual like center of the meal, of the plate, and it's still nutritious. You're still getting the protein that you need. It's still healthy, but you're just spending a little bit less money when it comes to buying the protein. Making the switch a couple times a week will definitely decrease your grocery budget. Tip number five is to buy frozen and canned vegetables. If you are on a budget and you cannot buy organic type of produce or go to the grocery store regularly to get produce and you need to stock up on things that are frozen or canned, then do so. Now, I know that some of you may think that if it's canned, it's too high in sodium. If it's frozen, it's not the same. It's not that much different, and it's much healthier and better for your budget to buy them if you have to buy that version instead of going and buying something else like potato chips or something that's cheap as well. Don't be afraid to purchase vegetables that are frozen, vegetables that are in cans. Those type of things are okay. I would stay away from fruits in cans because usually they are sweetened with a whole bunch of syrups. That can also be true when fruits are frozen, but you just want to make sure to read the labels and make sure that there's no added sugar. But it does make a big difference in your budget. Instead of buying a lot of produce that can also go bad very quickly, as you are developing your healthy eating habits, it will help to have those things on hand. Tip number six is to buy in bulk. Places like Costco or Sam's Club are great options for this. Sometimes even Walmart's are great options for this because you can buy a lot of one ingredient that you know that you're going to use for multiple meals, and when you do that, you're actually reducing the price of going and getting it every single time that you need it. So buying in bulk is a great option to help you save money in the long run because you may have to put a little bit more front loaded. However, it's worth the money that you're going to save at the end of the month and at the end of the year on your grocery bills. Tip number seven, this is such an important one because it will help you in all facets of your life, and this is to prepare. Now, when I'm talking about prepare, I mean to prepare and plan for what meals you're going to be making. And preferably what you want to do is you want to make meals that are going to reuse the same ingredients. So like if you're going to get something like Brussels sprouts, as I mentioned earlier, you want to make sure that you plan your meals so that you have Brussels sprouts in 2 different meals, for example. Like you could have salmon with Brussels sprouts, and some type of carb, maybe some rice, and then you can have chicken with Brussels sprouts and linguine. I don't know, something that you like. So planning to have same ingredients in a different meal is a great way to save some money. A lot of people will spend a lot of money when they're trying to eat healthy because they're trying to think about having a lot of variety. And variety is really good, but if you want to get healthy and you're not quite sure how to eat healthy and you are just starting out, the best thing that you can do is, as I said earlier, just find a couple of recipes that you enjoy, foods that you like to eat, and then just get in the habit of eating those foods regularly and get in the habit of buying those ingredients and figuring out how to make those ingredients in different ways that work for you. Tip number 8 is to stock up when there are sales. So now that you're going to be somebody that you're going to be going to the grocery store and you're going to be buying these type of healthy foods, you want to know when these foods are on sale. You want to know when certain produce is in season. It tends to be cheaper when it's in season. So educate yourself on how coupons and things like that work. For example, where I live, we have a sale that goes from Tuesday to Tuesday. So every Tuesday there's a new sale. So those would be the times that I would check to see what is going to be on sale so that I could plan what I'm going to have, what's the produce that I'm going to buy, what are the proteins that I'm going to buy. All of those things are things that I think about regularly and that people that eat healthy think about regularly. And now you will also think about this stuff regularly. Tip number 9 is to not buy organic. Now, I kind of alluded to this a moment ago where I was talking about the canned and frozen fruits and vegetables. Organic can be more expensive, and now with how everything has changed with the FDA, I can talk a little bit more about this later in a different video if you would like. There are certain regulations to actually be organic, and food companies can label things organic when they're not truly organic, or at least what we are expecting as organic. So I would recommend that if you're going to purchase organic, and that's totally fine, if you eat everything organic and you feel great and you are able to sustain that and you love it, then do you. But some of the organic things are not truly organic to what I would consider or define as organic. So I would recommend not purchasing it because it's also more expensive. There tends to be a shorter shelf life as well. That is something that you'd have to decide on your own. But if you're on a budget, I would recommend going for the frozen option. Tip number 10 is to keep it simple. Make sure that you buy whole ingredients. Don't do things that are super complicated. Just get in the habit of eating the things and finding the vegetables that you like. In the beginning, you're going to have some more experimentation of how you put things together, what type of seasonings, those type of things. Figure out a couple of meals, eat those regularly, see how your body feels and responds to them. If your body doesn't feel great and doesn't respond to them, then you can change them. But you got to give yourself enough time and keep it simple and make sure that you are just mindful of how much money you're spending and whether you're spending the money in the right places. The right places to spend the money are on things that are whole foods, that are not junk food. If it can last forever, then it's probably not good for you. And that's it, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.